You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Under the Dome After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Under the Dome After Show.
Ooh, hello. I am Jacque Borowski, and we are doing Under the Dome. With me are Amanda Fields and Carrie Long.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
And I wanted to say before people freak out, because I know Matt and I did this last year, Matt Lieberman will be back. He will be. He's just not here for this episode. This first episode of Season 2, Heads Will Roll. They really didn't. People died. Maybe in the end Angie was decapitated. I guess we'll find that out in the next episode.
Ooh. Spoiler alert.
No, I just made that up because I'm trying to figure out why the title is called Heads Will Roll when really the way people died, that did not happen. Not that I'm bitter, but we'll discuss continuity.
I want more death in my episodes.
We'll discuss continuity. Let's jump right into the episode. The episode opens with, I wrote, guy living in a cabin, but not the cabin. I don't know if you guys noticed last season, but Matt and I were obsessed with this particular location, the cabin, which is, it was actually called the cabin, which is where a lot of like random action happened, where oh my gosh, Julia and Barbie, or Barbie had the encounter with Julia's ex-husband, current husband, now dead husband. That all happened in the cabin.
And didn't someone burn it down? Big Jim had like someone burn it down or something.
No, Big Jim had it wasn't Big Jim that burned. It was the Reverend burned the thing down on accident. Because I do miss...
The old sheriff, yeah.
I do miss Special Times Reverend in the old sheriff's house. Yeah. He basically horribly accidentally burnt it down. And then the radio station was burnt down by Big Jim on purpose. But the cabin, as far as I know, tweet me if I'm wrong, still exists. Although it is not this particular cabin.
It's another cabin.
It's another cabin. Not the cabin, but a cabin.
Chester's Mill is full of cabins.
Yes,
so
it clearly
quaint.
is.
It's a real destination.
It's full of cabins and people we have not met yet.
How have we not seen these people in this little area of land?
That's how we felt when Maxine arrived.
Just
out
of nowhere. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. And she had like fancy clothes. So like she was hiding out under the dome in like her designer wear. I mean, at least fake Ty Burrell, as I was calling him until we learned his name is
Uncle Sam.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Fake Ty Burrell at least looks like he belongs in a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Like looks like he has been hiding out for days. 9 years or something like that, apparently.
Right. Since the mom's funeral.
Yeah.
What a bum.
Hiding in a cabin on
With
the outskirts
booze.
of town.
Yeah.
So, moving away, we get a quick glimpse of fake Ty Burrell and some girl whose name we don't know yet. She's
so creepy, though.
She reminds me
my
of...
God.
You know what's interesting is I watched The Returned. It's that French series where people are coming back from the dead. Mm-hmm. You guys should really watch it if you like this show. It's very fascinating.
Okay.
But now I'm comparing things, and I'm like, Under the Dome has some elements of The Returned, and she is like she reminds me, there's like a drowning element in The Returned. And I'm like, she's like one of those silent people that's returned from The Returned. And I'm like, Stephen King, did you watch that and then put this in there? Because that's what I'm thinking.
Interesting. Speaking of Stephen King, he shows up in this episode.
Yeah,
he does.
Straight Alfred Hitchcock style. I love that cameo. Sorry, I was like begging for it, and then he popped up at Rosie's, and I just...
I didn't even get the cameo. What happened was I read about it on the internet, and then I was like, oh, snap. And then I had to go back and watch it to catch the cameo because that's how quick it was.
It was so fast.
It was really
He
fast.
needed coffee.
If you were,
popping
going to the kitchen to get a tea, you missed it.
Right, exactly. And I was watching it on my laptop at home, so it's like I was eating Nutella at the time, and I was probably like taking a bite of my Nutella, and I blinked.
I think that's the best excuse I've ever heard for missing a moment of a TV show. I was having Nutella, okay?
I was too busy eating my Nutella, and I blinked, and I missed Stephen King. So we now learn that the dome, after all of this monarch crowning and possible Barbie death, has turned white. It was black earlier in the previous episode. It turned white and is now magnetic.
It's a magnetic field
Things
dome.
stick to it.
And I'm wondering why? Why all of a sudden is it magnetic? And is it kind of like, you know how the Earth has the North Pole and the South Pole, so it's like a giant magnet. And I'm like, is this like saying it's a mini world within itself with the magnetic pull? And then
I think that is a distinct possibility, because we're coming up with this at the end of the episode. They really highlight it more, where there's two separate ideas. We have the new character, who's Rebecca Pine, the teacher, and she's a science teacher, and so she has this idea that, okay, we have to build, we're skipping ahead a little bit, but she wants to build this tower because she's been studying the dome. But versus Julia, who's kind of like a messiah almost now.
Straight up science and church,
So
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Oh, the debate.
Yeah, so you have
women.
this.
And I wonder if they're both interested in Barbie.
I know.
That's what I was noticing.
It's so tangled. I can't
Right?
wait.
But before that, we're going to skip back and go to where Linda meets her demise.
Crunch.
We
Linda.
called this last season, Matt and I, because Linda's storylines were getting progressively lamer, where it was just like,
She gotta go.
yeah,
She gotta go. She's lame.
we were like, she's going to be the next person to die. And Matt
You
does not
did
find her
call
to
it.
be a particularly great actress, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I like Linda. But I found it interesting that under the dome being so flippin' gory all the time, Linda gets smooshed by a car, and when we see her later, okay, first off, there's no blood and guts, she's just smooshed by the car. And then, not like I'm asking for blood and guts, because it sounds like that, but when she got smooshed by the car, we see her later, and she's like under a blanket. And then when she does the zombie ghost flashback, she's like all okay, but Dodie has to have a hole in her. So I'm like,
Oh, and what was that when she was like touching it?
She was
I know.
digging in it.
You know Jolene Purdy, though. Jolene Purdy loves that role, and I'm pretty sure that Jolene Purdy was just like, I really want to have my own gaping wound where I can do something with
touch it.
it. Because we talked to her last season, if you guys want to look up the interview, but she's very much into that role, so I feel like she might have even asked for something like that.
So I was so glad to see her back too. Like literally,
Yes!
second one I was like, God,
Dodie!
I want my Dodie, and
Yes!
then boom, there she was. And I hope she is just speckled throughout the whole season. 'Cause
Yes.
she adds such a nice element to the entire cast, and just overall love her.
I thought she left too early.
I did too, because you know what's interesting is we bring in this like science kind of like techie element, and I guess Joe kind of has that, but like Dodie was very intelligent, and it's like you're missing this kind of like techie science person, whereas Joe kind of like understands like the internet, but
Which is-
Dodie knew a lot more.
It's interesting that you say that because Dodie is now dead, but we have a new science teacher
Right.
who is supposed to be very intelligent. So
Right.
they're like, we need to fill that role back in.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they did that.
Now, I want to put this out there. I have not read the book, so I don't know
It's
how
nothing
it
like
ends.
the book anymore, you guys, and it's
Okay.
not going to end like the book at all.
Okay. That's good to know. So
Yeah.
if someone has read it, they're not going to ruin it for
I think
me.
Stephen King has an interview out there where he says season 2 is completely just a total departure from it. And then you found that to be true in this first episode of season 2. Just
I've read the entire book, and even towards the end of season 1, I could see that there were going to be giant departures, and by the time you're here, it's a huge departure. I mean, although Angie is dead in the books, but she dies really early on, and she's killed by Junior. I don't think that's going to happen here, because Junior's character is so wildly different. Like in the books, here it's like Junior has already come to a redemption spot where you thought he was like a creepy weirdo in the beginning, but it's like, oh no, he actually like knows stuff. Like he's like, he understands certain things and has instincts. But in the book, he's just crazy.
Okay.
And he has like seizures and things like that make him feel worse. And I think I don't think he'll be the one who has killed Angie. And I mean, I know you guys get upset about spoilers. I honestly don't. I don't
Okay.
see that.
Okay.
I don't see that at all.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up Junior's change of heart with everything because he really has had a huge arc. And like the dome. Oh my
What?
goodness. And I like how he's standing up to his dad more in this episode. And he's really just, confronting him, just like all these people that he has killed are coming back to confront him. And so you think, of course, in season 1 that Junior is so awful. Well, he was being awful.
Right.
And Angie was stuck in that storm cellar, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And now Big Jim is stuck in there.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, yes, comeuppance. Because then he tries to keep Angie in there, too.
It's true. So we get to, okay. So Linda dies, and
Linda.
and there's what I thought was like not enough of a reaction to Linda dying. It was kind of like
they're all so numb. They're
Yeah.
like, well, we better keep on keeping on. Like,
Yeah.
come on, somebody just got squished, not just died, like squished.
yes, and I was also like, I know that a lot of people have been dying on this show, but that's a really particularly creepy death, and you supposedly all really like Linda.
Yeah, and they didn't go and like I'm sorry, if someone dies, at some point someone's going to take a peek. Just let's just make sure she's really squished. It was just so very odd.
They just ran away.
Yeah,
Like, okay,
it was all
she's
kind of
dead.
like,
Yeah.
we all have something else to do. And the other thing I thought that was weird about that death was it didn't even have to happen because she goes to like save Barbie and pulls him off. And it was like she paused and waited
wanted
for
it.
the vehicle to hit her. I was like, no deer in the headlights. That is a moment where your adrenaline would have kicked in and you would have like stopped, drop, and rolled to side with him.
And she's been through all of this under the dome already. You
Right.
think she would be able to run away
She's
Right.
a cop. She has training. Come on,
or like
Linda.
roll over the top of the car or something cool?
Right.
No, nothing.
She kind of died almost the same way that the sheriff died, which is sad when you think about it, because his
Absolutely.
pacemaker got too close to it, and there was that whole like magnetic whatever. Not,
Right.
I think that like technology blowing up at that point, and
Like you couldn't have a cell phone or an
Yeah.
iPad or anything like that by the dome.
yeah,
The dome is anti-social media.
Yes.
Putting an end to that. Maybe that's what the dome is really about.
you guys also like how the bell exploded from the bell tower.
Oh,
and, like, went across.
can I? I'm sorry, maybe you guys out there don't think this is funny, but I thought it was pretty funny when like the stove just came out of the wall towards the people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, here it
so-
comes.
It was like Maximum Overdrive. Was it? And then the knives going ever? Because you saw the knives, you're like, come on, knives, give it to
Yes.
me. And they start to shake. It was like, choo, choo, choo. And then if the nails are being pulled out of the wall, I'm sorry, if you have metal fillings, people still had watches on later on. Like, all of that would have been pulled to the dome.
Right.
I was like, was the dome
What
picking
about
and choosing what
people
to suck to
wearing
the wall?
belts?
Yeah.
And how about when it started pulling like the police stuff, and then they had to like pause and like
Yes.
take it off?
Right. This is a good belt. I better take it. I don't want it to rip.
Like it wouldn't just
And
pull the person
zippers.
with them. If it can pull a giant bell and a stove, it wouldn't just pull the person.
Yeah.
I will say this though, they did clarify that the pull was stronger closer to the dome. So I think that the whole
If you were-
nails
The
knives
farmhouse,
situation, that is why that was so big there, but maybe not as big as in the center.
So if you're closer to the nucleus, as what was the kid's name that was talking about that? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Joe?
Joe?
Yes, Joe was talking about that in season 1. How the
Yes.
nucleus is sort of the epicenter of
you
the
were
dome.
more okay if you were closer to that point.
And I thought it was interesting that they didn't even show the mini dome in this episode at all.
The mini dome was dropped into the ocean in the end of the previous episode when
Okay.
she goes out on the boat. She's got the egg from the mini dome after it's dissolved.
That's right. I
Right.
apologize.
No, that's
It's been
okay.
a while.
Like the
since
blue
I-
diamond Titanic.
Guys,
she
I had to
dropped
watch
it.
this twice because I didn't even remember like that this had happened. I had to watch the previous episode.
So the egg, and that's when, she
And
was
so
out on the
she-
lake with the pink stars falling in lines. Okay.
So she drops it into the ocean, and then to me, it seemed like this weird, like I'm calling her the returned girl, like is born out of this egg thing because she drops it in the ocean, and later on she sees the girl flopping around the
Now
ocean.
it comes together.
Or
Okay.
lake or whatever it is.
And a little in the religious undertones again, because it was, coming from the water, like a birth. And
Yeah.
I'm like obsessed with this science and church. Like supposedly the whole season's supposed to be wrapped up in this.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
just
Ooh.
a nice little tie in there, Stephen King.
They're
Yes.
definitely setting that up. So, since we were talking about the scene where all the appliances start going, there's a GIF online. I was reading a lot of recaps of the episode online.
Okay.
There was a gif of the kids, and there's like a trash can rolling down the street, and the kids' faces look so horrified. And if you're just looking at that particular image, you're like, they're just running away from a trash can. And the caption says, in no way is this not funny, And it's like, yeah, I guess there is a scary element, but you're watching it and you're like, they're afraid of the washing machine coming after them. And
Oh my goodness.
It was pretty funny, I have to say. Yeah.
We need some reenactments. Like, people have been LeBroning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think we might have to underdoming. Where,
Yeah.
like, when he got the cramps, everyone on social media was doing the photos of LeBron. Like, oh, I got a cramp. And this
Yes.
week, we should just do, like, running from unscary metal objects.
Yes. Although so the nails come and then one goes like through the table, through Joe's hand. And the thing that bothers me is we talked about this before we came on air, was that he is like impaled through his hand, probably needs surgery. I know that there are no like real doctors in town anymore. But you think Barbie or somebody would have like taken a look at it. Instead, he's just like hanging out in the epicenter of the town, helping everybody build the tower.
And his hand still moves. Like,
Yeah.
you just, like, what are those, metatarsals? Like, you would just, it was like a bomb going through his palm. And he's like,
Like,
I'm good, guys.
Doesn't he need a tetanus shot?
She just wraps it
Like-
up with a washcloth and...
Some soap and water.
Right.
You're fixed, kid.
Oh, yeah, Angie was wrapping his hand up. That's
Oh,
right.
it's the
'Cause
touch of Angie. Big sis.
She got the washcloth to help with the mom, and then she went to Joe and wrapped up his hand.
But that was like, it's like I really felt that Joe needed medical attention.
Yeah, it was like, that's like a major surgery situation, and he's
Yes.
just like, okay.
Then again, Julia gets shot, and she's like, I'm good. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
exactly.
it's like, would he stitch her up with like a pin cap or something? He was blowing air into her in
Yeah.
that episode.
Yeah, so
Although I
Sam-
will say this, Neil Baer, who's one of the executive producers, used to write, used to be an executive producer on ER. So I think like some of this like intense medical stuff might come from him, the blowing the air into her and all that stuff. But it's like, then do you think that he would step in and say, maybe Joe needs a little surgery now?
Blow some air in his hand.
Yeah. It's got a hole in it. I don't know.
I guess. Suspended disbelief.
So, and it's gonna get infected and
He
swollen.
needs a
and
tetanus
nasty.
shot.
Oh my god.
Joe needs a tetanus shot. I am sure there are those things still at the hospital, even though there's not a doctor.
Oh, that hospital. Oh, that was a rough couple of episodes there. I
Yes.
remember that was like really
where everybody was like sick and dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like an outbreak
Yeah.
of something. Did they ever decide what that was? What they were sick with? I'm trying to remember all the stuff from a year ago.
They all got some sort of flu, and you guys, tweet us to update, but I didn't watch that episode recently. They all had some sort of flu, and then they were able to quarantine people and give them medicine. But in some instances, there wasn't enough medicine, or people were not there quick enough, which is why people died.
But Linda made it just in time to get squished this episode.
Linda.
Oh, Linda. And Linda as a ghost, by the way. So, like, Dodie does have, like, beautiful, like, makeup and hair situation, even though she's, like, bleeding from her heart. But I did think it was interesting that Linda has nothing. Like, Linda was just, like, no scrapes, no scratches
Linda was
whatsoever.
hot as a ghost.
She has her, like, Pantene Pro V ghost hair that she's let down.
She's like, I got to have my hair down in this episode.
Yes.
Well, Big Jim.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Jim.
Did Big Jim had some great one-liners in this too. He even called Linda out. He's like, "What are you, ghost from Christmas What did he say? Ghost from
Ghost from-
Christmas Future?" And I was like, "Yes." And then he had one to Dodie about just be dead. Like,
Yes.
shut up and be dead.
Shut up and be dead. That was my favorite line of the whole episode. And you know what it was? If it wasn't, and I keep wanting to call him Hank. If it wasn't Big Jim, if it wasn't that actor saying that, and what's his name again?
Dean Norris.
Dean Norris, that's right.
Love
I
him.
keep calling him Hank from Breaking Bad, which is
It's all
not
good.
his
Okay.
name.
Forever up here, he'll be Hank.
His name is not Hank. He is not Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad. So Dean Norris, if it wasn't Dean Norris doing that, I don't think those lines would have been as funny. Like, I don't think the character would be as good. I don't think the lines would be as funny. He just sells that kind of thing.
And I like how Big Jim has some moments here where he comes to a realization of he's starting to want to change a little bit. He's like, oh, maybe I really shouldn't have killed all those people. Maybe I should, fix this. Because he notices his son is in pain and everyone looks like they're like knocked out, unconscious.
Yes, apparently from the
magnetic
And
pole.
why was it? It was like in waves. Like why were some more susceptible to the magnetic wave, and then the next
why
round?
is Barbie?
And
Why
does
are Barbie and Julia not susceptible at all, or Big Jim?
Yeah, but Julia's the monarch.
Right.
Well, Julia's the monarch. Okay, but Barbie and Big Jim not susceptible to that at all.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was
That was
weird.
convenient.
Right?
Yeah.
It was like, look at our
I'll
main
fix that.
characters.
I don't
They're
know,
not
write this
susceptible
one.
at all. And I was going to be really mad if Nori's mom died because her other mom died in the other season. And I'm like, this is just mean. You can't leave her an orphan. And then I was glad to see that she's okay in the end.
Oh,
now.
and Big Jim's like, you can just stay in my house.
I'm not
here's
buying it.
Here's the key.
I'm not buying any of this big gymnast, happy born again man stuff.
Well,
Malarkey.
so he is in the beginning of the episode after Linda's ultimate demise. He goes into the bomb shelter, and now I can't even remember why he goes into the bomb shelter. Do either of you remember?
Why did he go down there? I mean, he was getting away
He
from
was
things.
looking for things, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
why.
tweet at us because
Yeah.
I
Please.
feel it wasn't very clear, and if it was, I don't know. But tweet at us and let us know if you know why he went down there initially, because for the life of me, I couldn't figure it out. And he goes down there into the bomb shelter, and then he basically gets stuck in there, and so we have another episode of someone stuck in the
Because
bomb
again,
shelter.
conveniently, there's some metal objects that because of the magnetic pull,
Right.
they end up, in front of the door, so he can't get out. And
Yes.
and then he tries to blow it up, which
Yeah, and don't
He
you say you're
does.
never getting out of here? And then next scene, I'm out. And I was like, wait, the ghost said you're not getting out. And then he got out. That bugged me. It really bugged me. I'm just saying.
that
I
was a
think
little
I feel like
strange.
those are because we've. Here's my other question about what's going on here is we've seen people from the dead come back before. You had Nori's mom come back, one of Nori's moms come back, and I think that was Alice. That was her name, Alice. We had Alice, and then we had. I thought maybe Alice is the only one. Am I not?
From last season, she
From
might have
last
been the only
season?
one.
Yeah.
We saw Big Jim, but he wasn't dead. It was just like a...
Because she said something about we have to take a form you understand. So it's like you wonder if this is related to like the aliens or aliens or some sort of like spiritual being or something that is like guiding people through the dome. And so when Big Jim is having these discussions, I'm like, are these like hauntings in Big Jim's head, or are these like the dome being aliens? Spiritual thing.
I just thought of something else. So you know how she just said you're never getting out of here? Maybe she meant the dome.
Oh, right. The bigger picture.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That is true. That is a good point.
Oh, Amanda, so on it.
Yes.
So he says his famous line in there, which is the one about "shut up and be dead."
Shut up.
He's not even really scared. He's just angry. It's like, I don't like this situation. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Because he's always so sure of himself, and finally Big Jim's like, hold up, and then he doesn't even
He
remember
builds
later
a
on.
bomb though, and the other
Right.
thing is like, why? Okay, I guess I shouldn't ask why Big Jim has like the elements to build a bomb in his bomb shelter because I guess it's obvious.
Was it
Big
not-
Jim just has the
He
elements.
has bombs
to build.
in his bomb shelter.
Yeah.
It's very convenient.
Was it not like a little? I couldn't tell what it was. Like a
He-
grenade.
I think he made a bomb
Okay.
in the bomb shelter. So he knows how to make a bomb, A. B, has the ingredients, shall we call them, to make a bomb, and did that in under 5 minutes.
I wonder if they're going to tell us about Big Jim's childhood.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's got
Where-
a special skill
Oh,
set in there
God.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Concerned.
Big Jim
very,
ready.
very concerned. So skip over to the other timeline at the not the cabin, but a cabin, with fake Ty Burrell, a.k.a. Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
We
America.
learnhe that he
Ooh, I have so much I want to say. Okay.
He hasn't really spoken to the family in years, and he has what at first I thought that was his sketchbook, but the fandom seems to say it's the mom's
Mom's
sketchbook
sisters,
because
right.
I was like, maybe they both have this thing and they're both like communicating by drawings, and then the fandom seems to think that it's her sketchbook.
Do
so I'm
you
like, okay, that
think
makes more sense.
he's the mom's brother?
Yes, because his last name is
Well, Junior even
Verdreau.
said, yeah, he's confirmed it, said, I haven't seen him since Mom's funeral. But then
Okay.
again, it doesn't really confirm it's his uncle.
His last name is Verdreau, which makes me think that he is, because there are two ways of it going. Like, Big Jim has a sister, and he married the sister. But I don't think that's it, because he's so connected to the drawings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he is the sister's brother, and that's why, because his last name would be Rennie.
Junior's mom's brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And because his last name would be Rennie if he was Big Jim's brother.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
So I feel like they're trying to make this connection with the drawings, and him having that same kind of sense that Junior has, that the mom has, of this, like,
they know what's
predictions.
coming.
They know what's coming.
Yeah.
Which maybe is why the returned girl came to his place.
But he seems really
Or
bothered. Like, you
came
can
to
tell
him.
they have a
I'm sorry,
past.
he picked her out of the water.
Yeah.
So maybe why he knew how to be there at that time, I should say.
Well, don't you wonder what their backstory is? There's obviously something there. Like, the way he kept looking at her, like when she was first on the land, he was looking.
I just came up with a prediction or something. Ooh. Maybe it's Junior's sister or something.
The girl? Well, he saw her in the picture. So there's a prediction, like, in the pictures, like, that girl, he knew when he went to the water, I think, because he had been flipping through that thing, I think, through the sketchbook, I think he knew that girl was, like, predicted, I guess, to be there. And so we see the confirmation later on when we see the sketchbook.
So you're thinking from the sketchbook he recognizes her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if there's another past they have. Like, you know how he was a drunk EMT? Maybe he lost someone or he killed her, and that comes out later on, too, in the storyline.
Didn't they say something about her making a suicide attempt? Who was that? I don't remember. I just remember there was a line in there about someone.
Big Jim's wife, or the mom, she died because she committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I gathered from.
But is she alive? That's what I'm wondering.
She's alive, for sure.
Which that blew my mind when I had to go back and rewatch it again because they cut to her and I was like, hold up, and you see the little the towers in the background from this. But I was like, whoa, because that changes everything. Because if she's alive and on the outside of the dome, but she died technically on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so that's just mind-boggling to me.
Because there are so many
confusing.
questions for that. There's just so many. Because, like, did she fake her own death? Like,
Right.
how did she fake her own death?
And Junior seems to think that he was really with her, and I think he was.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
think he was dreaming.
Maybe he can get outside the dome.
Like he has like another self somehow. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe everybody has a self inside the dome and they have a self outside of the dome.
That would be interesting.
I just
I
blew
like
my
that
own
one.
mind.
I love it. Okay, so then when Junior talks to his mom, he doesn't know who she is at first, and then she turns around and he can't believe it. And
Yes.
right before they meet each other, he sees this snow globe that he
Yes.
shakes, and all of a sudden it turns blood red, and he drops it on the ground. And the town that they're in when he sees his mom is something that we've never seen yet on the show, and I can't remember what the name of
Was
it
it
is.
Zenith or Zenith?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's like it was like a Z town. Zenith?
Sounds right.
Guys,
Another
tweet.
thing
Let me know what it is.
that we have to revisit.
Yes.
And see again because a town
Because
we
we
have
know
to revisit.
that, and we know that the mom
Okay.
is just outside the dome because of what you can see. You can see the towers. So, and we know because she is able to get like television and things like that.
And she's almost like speaking to him because he goes, my name is James. And then she's like, James. And there's this canvas of him. And then she goes and she puts red over a doorway. So I'm interested to see where that's going to play. And again, that's all religious undertones there.
I was going to
blood-
say like the
I was like,
firstborn.
what?
Yeah.
They're
Spare
running
the
with this
firstborn
theme.
child.
Yep, they're running with it.
Which he must be their. Is he their only child?
yes,
Yes.
Well, as far as we know,
Exactly.
As far as we know,
Dun, dun. That's why I was wondering about the girl from the lake, if she's somehow related to
She
them.
is
Yeah.
creepy.
she's very creepy.
Oh my god, it was probably the scariest episode yet, I think, with this new girl that they don't know her name. They didn't say her name, did they?
No, the fandom has a name for her already. That's not, I don't think, her name yet, and I don't remember what it was.
Okay, what
Meredith
have
or
they
something?
made
I don't
up?
know. I think it's Meredith, but I don't know for sure. Like, tweet at me if you know. Somebody looked it up on Wikipedia, and somebody had already given her a name, and I don't know. She doesn't have one yet.
Okay, officially she does not have a name.
Yeah,
I got all
officially she
tongue-tied.
does not have a name.
I'm
because
kind
no
of
one said
scared
anything.
thinking about it, to be honest with you.
So we have, in the end of the episode, Big Jim basically gives Phil a police badge, making him the new sheriff,
But I thought he
I
was
assumed.
dead.
Phil?
Phil, he just took a little nap from that
Yeah.
magnetic dome issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phil's alive.
Okay, good. Okay, I was a little confused.
What
Like, why
I
is he
was
giving
concerned
that
about,
badge?
though, is that
Okay.
so when they're outside and before, like, during Linda's smushing accident, they're
The incident.
Barbie is basically telling Big Jim how horrible he was and that he killed Dodie and framed him for it and blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And Phil still doesn't really know the truth.
Yes.
So now, and it's like you just see it's just another layer of corrupt
Yes.
cop.
I think
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
the reason why I thought Phil might have been dead is because he did come back and talk to Big Jim about what he's done, just kind of like Dodie just did and Linda.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, he's coming back. I think I had to watch some of those old episodes again because I was like, because so many people did die.
Yeah,
and
it's
I was
true.
like, wait,
A lot of
is-
dying going on.
because of what he said to Big Jim. I think that's why I thought that.
Yes.
Sorry, Phil. I'm happy that you're the new sheriff. You seem to be a good guy, but who knows?
I'm just worried. And then it's like you have this double element of like Big Jim making him the sheriff, and he's all like, wow, kind of like thinking of it as a compliment. But at the same time, you're like, Barbie can just tell you that he killed Dodie, which is like your girlfriend, who is not your girlfriend anymore because she's dead.
And I think Big Jim's, everything's good, but I think he's scheming. He's like, Phil.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely. I'm not buying any of it. And he's
Totally.
getting Phil on his side. And Phil has a pretty dark past because remember, Julia's ex-husband and Phil had some kind of, which hasn't fully
Some kind of drug ring.
drug and like the lot, and he was losing the house and everything. So
Or
there's still
not
more.
drug ring, I'm sorry. In the book, it's a drug
Gambling.
ring.
It was gambling, wasn't
gambling.
it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a
Okay.
dark past there.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. I think more is going to be revealed on Phil.
Do you also like how Angie, when she's pouring the coffee for Big Jim, she basically gives him the longest stink eye ever?
Yeah.
And I was like, at least you got that in before you died.
Yes.
Although I will say, because I knew from last night, everybody's like, two major characters die. Well, okay, Linda dies in the beginning, and that's shocking because it happened so quickly, even though she could have gotten out of the way. But in the
wanted to.
end, they set up the scene where you're like, we know Angie's going to die because you make her go down the creepy hallway by herself, following the creepy girl.
I was
It was a
hoping,
little annoying.
I was hoping not though, because I was like, is she gonna have more answers? I was hoping that it would be like maybe the next episode. I know, but you said
They
two
set it up
episodes.
so easy. It was just like, I was like, come on, Angie, don't go down the creepy hallway following the creepy girl. You know bad things are going to happen. You know better than that.
She's seen a horror movie. She knows what happens.
She's been locked in a basement already. She's got to know better than that.
She didn't learn. But I have two questions. One, what did she see in the locker before she got sliced
Yes, she did see
up?
something.
Something. And then two, they're missing a hand now.
I need to know.
They are. That's another disconcerting
See,
thing.
I thought when I was an axe, I thought, oh, she chopped her hand off, so now she's lost her dome power. But then they, premiered the trailer for next week. They're like,
Oh,
and
the four
Junior's
hands.
like, yeah, Junior's like, Angie's dead. Pfft. They killed me because you could have left us like wondering maybe she just got a hand chopped off, but no, they spoiled.
Well, I'm glad you
spoiled
guys
it.
are telling me this because when that happened, I was like this. I didn't really look.
it
I
was
was
creepy.
screaming like I was watching soccer. I was going crazy.
I could not handle it. Like she was, the girl just staring at her. I was like,
bloody.
"Ooh, honey, you're gonna have to tell me what happens."
What do you think? What do you guys think is going to happen? Because there are no more 4 dome children. I mean, I guess there's no mini dome anymore either. But I thought the 4 dome children meant something. I
you
felt
think-
like.
Ooh,
do you guys watch
ooh.
Sailor Moon? I
Yes.
feel like I feel like Julia was Sailor Moon, and then the 4 kids were their sailor soldiers, and now they're missing a sailor soldier, and it makes me sad because it's like they don't have that person protecting the dome powers.
But I wonder if their purpose as the 4 hands was to bring that girl to life. And now she's here.
Because
Good
the
point.
egg went down and the girl came out. Because remember,
Yes.
when there's death, there's life, or
Yeah.
vice versa. So now, so I wonder if she's a new hand. But she's a corrupt hand because she killed another hand.
Ooh.
Yes.
But what was?
I don't.
who-
Do we
Joe-
know that? Here's the other thing, though. Do we know that she killed the girl?
Oh,
Because
we don't.
she looks kind of like shocked and runs away, and so does Angie.
But she had the look on her face like she knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Uncle Sam.
Maybe it is
Oh.
Uncle Sam.
We're gonna have to look at the hand more closely and
Mm-hmm.
see if we can figure it out. Was it a gloved hand?
We didn't always saw. You could just tell something, and she had this great bloody hand that went on the lock, and bleh,
Yeah.
which was nice. It was nice touch
Yeah,
there.
it was a
nice
nice
use
touch.
of fake blood.
So there's going to be lots of speculation as to who killed Angie, and I have a feeling that's going to play into the next episode. If it doesn't, then why did you set that up?
How are we gonna wait until Monday?
Did you guys really think Big Jim was going to hang himself?
No.
No.
Never.
But he did. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about how Barbie got saved, which we all knew was going to happen.
For sure.
Because you can't kill him.
No, he's too delicious.
He's too. Well, not only is he extremely handsome, but he seems to be the only guy in town that knows how to like do any medical things whatsoever. Now that they've killed off everybody else, so you're like, if they don't save Barbie, then who else is going to be able to like help people with their stab wounds?
Drunk EMT. Uncle Sam.
True. That is true.
Which I love because there's like Barbie and Uncle Sam now, and then you've got Rebecca and Julia.
Yes.
You've got these great parallel characters.
They really brought those characters in for the like
messing
love
with us.
quadrangle element.
Quadrangle?
Yeah, because there's 4 of them now.
Yeah, I like that. Drunk EMT.
Drunk
Hashtag
EMT.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hashtag not Tyrell. Hashtag
We're just going to rename all the characters, all right, Steve? Don't mind us, Mr. King, and change approved. Okay.
So Barbie, we knew was not going to die. So basically, Linda steps in. Well, okay, so Junior gets a conscience and stands up, as you said earlier, to his dad, and then Linda steps in and is like, "No, I'm not going to let you do it either." When Junior says he won't do it, and so then
Wait. You mean Julia steps in and like says
Linda steps in with her gun to stop Barbie's death.
Oh, yeah.
And then later on...
Yes, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Big Jim up there. Okay, yeah.
So Barbie is saved.
I got confused.
Barbie is saved. We have the big reunion with Julia where they both find out the other person's not dead and they have happy times only to get into the love quadrangle. And then Big Jim basically interprets Spirit Doty as telling him he should kill himself. Spirit Doty tells him that he thinks that it's telling him to kill himself, which is a lot of what the Dome children interpreted as well.
That they should kill Big Jim.
So he goes up there, and Barbie, being the stand-up guy that he is, he's like, I'm not going to kill you. And then Julia's like, sure. What I don't understand, though, is this is a big plot hole. So Julia, not a big plot hole, but a kind of plot hole. Julia goes up, and she's like, yeah, why not? I'll kill you. She stands there and then has this turnaround and is like, no, I can't do that because the Dome doesn't want that. If you knew the Dome wouldn't want that, you would say it from standing at the ground and just being like, oh, okay, the Dome doesn't want that because I know that because I am the chosen one of the Dome.
Right. And then she's just so good with a butterfly knife. And why was it still in her pocket? It should have been against the Dome wall.
Yes, it's metal. How did it not go?
It just bothered me.
Thank you.
It's because Drunk EMT gave it to her.
It has magic powers to shield it from the magnetic
drunk
pull.
EMT powers.
Oh.
So she cuts Barbie down, or not Barbie down. She cuts Big Jim down, who actually did hang himself, which was shocking.
And I love the nice touch of the rope burn on the neck.
Yes.
I was going to be annoyed if they didn't have something there.
Yes.
So well done.
Yes.
Nice job.
Nice
she
makeup.
cuts him down, and I actually thought that for me was a big turning point for Big Jim because Big Jim postures a lot. He makes plans and he says he'll do things, and then he's really got a different idea in his head. But this time he was actually like, no, fuck it, my life is over.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting. It was like it put him in a very vulnerable place.
And he and his son have almost been enemies, but also frenemies. Kind of.
Every other episode.
Because it's like, are they together? Are they against each other? And then this one, he had that moment of like, no, I have to save my son. So he wanted to do that, well, for the whole group of people, but especially for Junior.
Yes.
So then that motivated him to go up there, but then Julia's like, I don't think so.
So he, in the end, is saved, and all because our new school teacher love interest, Rebecca Pine, helps them learn how to build the tower in the center of town. Do you like how everybody in town, like, people are pretty much lemmings in town?
Oh my gosh.
They're like building gallows. You can just call the townspeople. I feel like this is The Sims, where it's like, get everybody together and build something.
Who are these people? Like, they're almost like, like little drones. Like, they'll just do whatever you say. And I'm wondering, like, when are they going to show us, like, maybe other things happen with other people that passed out? Like, you know, like what Junior had. Maybe there's other people that have a link to the outside world.
Yes.
Well, we have to find a new fourth hand.
Yes.
Somebody better have a seizure in the next episode with some pink fallen stars.
And then, on top of that, I just lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, Junior's mother is in the outside world in Zenith, and she's watching TV, and then the news reporter is saying, we're still concerned about the people that are inside the dome. Nothing has changed yet. We're still trying to figure it out. So I'm wondering if hopefully we'll learn more about what the outside world is thinking.
I hope so too. I hope so too. Maybe we'll get more of the what were they using, those Windows pads that they write on to talk to each other when they had the town gathering.
The Surface.
Yeah.
Man, we are
Product placement.
We'll get more product placement.
Yes.
I don't know.
Question: what is, if it is Zenith or whichever one it is there some kind of like, where did that name come from? I'd like to know, like, why is it named that?
That in
Curious.
just
Anybody
anywhere,
know?
the term
Theory?
zenith means highest point.
Oh, you're so smart.
Really?
Highest point, Zenith. Got it.
But I don't
Circled
even.
it.
Is that the name? Have we?
I think it's Z. It was
Okay.
Z something. Zenith, Zenith.
That sounds right.
Convinced myself that's what it is.
Because that's basically the highest point. And she
Watch it
looked
be
like she
like-
was pretty high up too.
Yeah, she was real high up on that tower, so it's
Yeah.
interesting too.
Yeah. So now I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
It's my fault.
We're being affected by the magnets.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, they built the tower. They built the tower, and the lemmings came, and like I love how the lemmings come and they stop the fire. The lemmings come and they build you a guillotine. The lemmings come and they build a tower. So we have this tower that's built, and we know that Big Jim is going to talk to our science girl in the next episode. Maybe he blows her off. I don't know, about her studies of the dome.
Blows her off or blows her away. Just, you never know with Big Jim.
Well, I think she has to be there for a little bit longer to create this love triangle, quadrangle.
We gotta have a bad guy. Big Jim can't be good. And I mean,
No, he's
there's
not.
gotta somebody's
Well,
gotta be the new nasty in town.
When he was trying to kill himself, I'm like, what's going to happen to the show if Big Jim's not there?
Right, exactly.
He has to
it'll
survive.
turn into a musical.
So this will go into, do you guys have anything else to add? Because I feel we did everything, unless, because I want to talk about some predictions.
Oh, okay, I'm with you. Unless you have anything else you want to add, Carrie.
No, did we touch on continuity? We kind of did. Can I just say my
Yes, you
big
can.
beef? Ugh, this is such a thing. So okay, you already have the suspended disbelief. We're watching sci-fi, whatever. It's a little campy. We love it. Julia, when she comes out of the lake or leaves a cabin, she has perfectly straight hair. Julia never has perfectly straight hair. And two, any girl knows once your hair is wet and it dries, it's like. And she had beautiful, straight, whip it around hair. And then the next scene, it's like wavy. That bothers me.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's a little thing, but I should never leave like the element of the show to be like, hold up, somebody curl her hair.
Yes, because you want to stay in the story.
I wanna
You
stay right there in that
not
world.
be distracted
Well,
by...
I mean, the other thing, just thinking about, we know they've been under the dome for 2 weeks because Barbie said so in the intro.
Uh-huh.
So, and we know there's kind of a water shortage. So don't you think the kids are the only ones that look kind of stanky?
Right.
Like everybody else looks pretty well groomed.
Maybe she has dry shampoo, and I would like to know what it is.
Oh, did I already mention this? How conveniently Rebecca Pine mentions that the power has started to go down, like
Yes.
the magnetic
That was
pole.
a nice, yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, what does that mean? When are they going to run out of power? Because they've already started to run out of food. And by the way, how are people still eating? Weren't they having a major food shortage?
I feel like they were talking about growing things, or maybe I'm just coming
They were supposed
from
to,
the book.
the whole water with the farmer, and they're creating their own biosphere, but...
Yeah, and then, I mean, we already knew the power was a problem because of the generators. So now, I'm like, what does that mean? Extra power? Like,
does that mean they're running low on, was it the petroleum? Not petroleum, what are they storing? Propane gas.
Yes.
Does that mean they're running out on that? Because it was such a big
I feel like
part of the
it's
story.
more like of an electricity thing than just the propane.
Can I just go way off topic for a second?
I don't know science.
I'm sorry. I just want to get this in, and I don't want to forget to say it. So the girl that's very mysterious that pops up in the middle of the lake, did either of you, or you out there, did you think, oh my God, it's Laura Palmer, they found her? From Twin Peaks. Who killed Laura Palmer? She's back. She looked like
She's
her.
under the dome.
She's under the dome. Okay, sorry.
This under the dome has just been a delayed Twin Peaks
I
payoff.
still have to see the end of Twin Peaks. I've only seen like season 1. I have
Oh.
Sometimes it's too much for me. Under the Dome is my flavor of scary. Sometimes the scarier shows, I'm like, oh, I
Spoiler
can't handle
alert,
it.
she lives. She pops up in a lake in a random dome.
Yeah, she came back to life.
No one saw that coming.
Yes. I've actually only seen the first season of Twin Peaks
Okay.
as well. So,
it's a lot to handle,
yeah.
but maybe I can make it through. Okay. But yeah, maybe there's more comparisons to Twin Peaks we can mention in the future.
Or comparisons to random other things.
Yes, of course, like the French show that you mentioned.
The Returns.
And Sailor Moon.
And Sailor
And
Moon.
Captain Planet.
I'm pretty sure.
You know.
I'm pretty sure those are not valid references, but sure. I like to make invalid references. Anyway.
And The Simpsons.
And The Simpsons is a real reference, though.
I know.
That was a real reference.
Yeah.
Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I think that there could be another supernatural element happening soon. Maybe an earthquake, maybe some kind of tornado, something going on that would affect everybody. I don't know why, I just feel like that might be next.
I feel like that could be good. They kind of hinted that last season, so I feel like, you know, because we know that the dome can create rain and these other things, like I feel like maybe they would have that again to help them build their crops or whatever they need. I think, you know, what's interesting is I did read an article about, and I forget where it was, about Under the Dome having essentially a bad guy problem. Like if Big Jim becomes good, who's the bad guy? It's like the dome is kind of wavering between bad guy and good guy, but we're starting to feel like the dome is like a bigger deity that doesn't want to kill people, so we're like, okay, it's on the nicer end. So I feel like maybe they brought in Uncle Sam to be kind of more of a new bad guy foil, just like they brought in Maxine to be more of another bad guy.
Ooh, that's interesting.
What do you guys think?
Well, they have to have more villains, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And maybe they'll even I think they'll also have Angie come back if she is in fact totally
for
dead.
sure.
She'll be haunting Big Jim for sure.
I do. She said that the actress who plays Angie, I forget her name, Britt something?
Yes.
yeah.
It is Britt.
She originally was only supposed to be in 10 episodes because the character dies early on in the book. So she didn't even think she was going to live through that season. She did, and she said she hasn't filmed any more episodes, but she's like, that doesn't mean that I can't come back as a ghost. So here's to hoping she does.
Yeah, I think she's really good.
Yeah. She's a fun character. She's a super fun character, and I was sad to see her go. And I do think Uncle Sam killed her.
Did she look a little bit different in this episode to you than the last season?
Straighter hair. I'm stuck on
more of that dry shampoo. It's all like
Maybe
very
irritates me.
fashion fads under the dome.
I don't know. She looked different somehow.
Maybe
in a
she
good
got
way.
a CrossFit on.
Oh.
It's big in Hollywood.
She's always looked good, and I think she's very talented, and I hope she's coming back.
That would be great.
What do you
I
think?
do too.
I hope she comes back. I absolutely do, because I think we have a real problem now with only one of the four hands missing. My big thing is I think that we're going to discover that the city has a very dirty secret, and I think we're going to start to see that unwrap this entire season.
We mentioned it before coming on air, but there's going to be a big science versus religion thing.
Absolutely, that's hot right now. A lot of religious undertone shows.
Because you have you have Rebecca Pine as the science element, and then Julia saying no, the
higher.
dome saved us, something higher.
Right, and how do you perceive the dome? You believe in it? Is it an alien, or is it an act of God faith? Like, we're still, so it's just a nice element to throw in there. We're going to see it.
It's true. Where can they find you guys?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Comedia Carrie. That's COMEDIACARRIE.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Runway Queen.
You can find me on Twitter at 123Jackie_B and Instagram at 123JackieB, all one word. Thank you for listening, you guys.
See you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.